All right, day 4 of the Advent calendar, and today is the first day we have a puzzle that's not a Sudoku. Today's puzzle is going to be an ice loam. This is not today's puzzle. This is an example of an ice loam puzzle. I figured the best way to demonstrate this, since a lot of you probably haven't seen this type of puzzle before, the best way is just to show you an actual puzzle. So the rules are over here. You want to draw a path from the in to the out. So from the in to the out over here, we have to draw a path somehow down here. Passing through each number in order. So we have to go through the numbers, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, in order. The path cannot turn on the ice, so the blue regions are ice. So you can't do this, for example. You can't turn because the ice is slippery. You have to go straight through is the idea. So you'd have to do that or that. All right. The path must visit every blue region at least once and can only visit a white cell at most once. Now this is the part that's a little bit tricky. So blue region, so in this particular puzzle, all the blue regions are one cell large. But if you had, here, let's see, I can. All right, so I'll go to edit mode here. So I can do, if, for example, the region looked like this. You don't have to necessarily go through every blue cell. If you just went through this way, that would have gone through this blue region one time. There you go. Let's go back to our puzzle. There we go. So must visit every blue region at least once and can only visit a white cell at most once. So what that's saying is you can't go into this white cell this way and then come back in again. Essentially, that's just saying the path cannot cross itself in a white cell. It does not have to visit every white cell. You could do something like this and not visit this one in here, for example. So you have to visit every blue region. The path cannot cross in the white. That's not allowed. But the path can cross in the blue. Sounds complicated. Trust me, you can figure it out. All right, so how do you go about solving one of these puzzles? They seem a little bit impossible at first sometimes, so just stick with it. See what little deductions you can make, a little bit here, a little bit there, and eventually it'll build up to a finished solution. So obviously, oh, and the other thing is there is a link in the PDF for today's puzzle, just like all of them, to an online version. And this is one of the types of puzzles that I would strongly recommend trying the online version. You can certainly do it with pencil and paper. When I tested the family version of this puzzle with my kids, we did it in pencil and paper. But it does help to do it on the computer, I feel like, especially when you're new to these types of puzzles. So this is on a site called puzz.link. They're great for these pencil puzzle types. So first thing I would do is, obviously draw your in and your out. Those are easy, right? And to draw lines, you just click and drag from the center of one cell to the center of the other. If you want to erase a line, you click and drag from the center of a cell to the center of the other over the top of the line. It just erases it. You can also do, if you click on a border, you can put an X. So if you get an area that you say, oh, I know the line can't go through here. So, for example, right here, this one, if it went to the right, it has to keep going because we're in a blue region. It can't turn. It would have to connect to the 8, and obviously the 1 cannot connect to the 8. So we could put X's right here because we know the line can't go through that way. And this is actually one of the spots that I would start potentially. Right here, it can't go 1 to 8, so the line cannot go horizontally through this blue cell, and we have to go through every blue cell. So there's going to have to be a line there. We don't know where the ends connect to yet, but we do know it goes through there. The other thing you can do is up here at the end, obviously you can't start by hitting the 4. So again, we could put an X there and say, we can't go that way, stop. So now the line has to turn. Now, it's tempting to just say, oh, we want to go to the 1. And that might be correct. but we don't know for sure yet that it gets there that way. It is possible that it could meander around and come back to it another way. So let's think about it. Is there any other way for the line to get from the in to the 1? Let's see. If we go this way, we're just kind of testing something here. If it goes this way, it can't connect to the 9. It would have to turn down here, and we could come back up this way. So it is possible to do that. I'm going to erase those because we don't know if it does that or goes straight down to the 1. So we'll come back to those. Let's see. We can do the same kind of thing down here with the 3 and the 6 that we did with the 1 and the 8. The 3 cannot connect to the 6, so we can't go through that blue region horizontally. It's going to have to be vertical. Now the 2 is connected to this up here. It cannot connect to the 7. If we went there, we'd connect the 2 to the 7, and that obviously isn't allowed. So here it's going to have to turn. We don't know which direction yet, but we can put an X right there. Let's see, what else can we do? So these corners, these blue cells up here in the corners, if you think about it, any blue cell along an edge, you can't go through this direction because you'd be leaving the grid. So any blue cell along an edge has to have the path parallel to the edge of the grid. So what you end up in these corners is these 2 parallel lines that meet in the corner. So you've got to have this part. So we can draw those in right away. Let's see, what else can we do? Well, now this 5 has to have, every number has to have essentially an in and an out into the number, in and out of the number. So you have to come into the 10 and out the other side, or in and turn and come out, but every number has to have 2 segments connected to it essentially. And this 5 cannot go to the left because you'd have a T on our line, and that's not allowed. You can't tee off. You can cross the line, but we can't leave the grid here. So the 5 can't go to the left. The 5 also can't go down. So the only way you can come in and out of the 5 is to go this way. Similarly, the 4 up here, we can do the same kind of thing. Since we can't go up and we can't go left, it has to be down and right. And now we're in a blue. We can't turn on blue, so we have to keep going, and that's going to connect. So now we know this line here connects to the 4. So our possible thing we had over here with connecting to the 1 is not going to be right. So now this line has to connect to the 1 because it's coming in the in. We can't hit the 9, and we can't connect to this path here, so it has to come and turn down and go to the 1. And we're okay to cross because it's in the blue. Now we get to this spot. This 1 can't go to the right. It can't turn to the left because we would connect to the 4. So it has to go down. Similarly, this 4 now can't connect to the 1. It has no choice but to go down. Again, these 2 can't connect. The 1 can't turn right or it'll connect to the 4 as well. So this 1 has to go down. This 4 has to go down. They're sort of both forcing each other down. And now the 4, again, can't connect to the 1. It has to go down here. Now we've got this 4 connected all the way down here. And it could go right here to connect to the 5. Obviously, this 4 has to continue to the 5. But we don't know that yet for sure. It could also come up here. It could come all the way over here. We don't really know that yet. So we're going to kind of wait on that one. Although it has to connect here eventually. What we can do is this 1. Now we've already brought it down here. It can't go left. And if it goes down, it's going to connect the 1 to the 5. We don't want that. So this 1 is going to have to turn. And now this 5 can't go left, can't go up. It also has to turn. We can't go down right here, or we'll create this tiny little loop, and that's no good. So this one can't go down, can't go up, or it will connect to the 1, so it has to go straight. Up here, this 1, this line coming down from the 1, we can't go up or we'll connect the 1 to the 4, and it needs to go to the 2 and the 3 first, so it's going to have to go straight. It can't go up, can't go down. This line coming from the 4 now is trapped in here. It can't go down, can't go left. It's going to have to turn, and now it's in the ice, so it's got to keep going. This 1, this line coming from the 1, it can't go down because we're still trying not to connect to the 5. It also can't go up, or it would have to connect to the 8. So it's going to have to keep going straight, and once we're in the ice, we have to go, we can't turn on the ice, and now our 1 has connected to the 2. So that's good. We've gone in, 1, and 2. Now we need to get the 2 to the 3. Is there any other way to get there besides turning right here? We can't come into the 3 from up above because this line is the 4. So if we tried to come up and around here, we would end up connecting to the 4. And that's no good. So the 2 is going to have to connect to the 3, but it could turn right away, or it could come down and over. We don't know for sure yet. So either way, it's got to come into the 3 from down below here, which means it's got to come from here. It can't come from the right because of our x, and it can't come from the left because that would connect the 3 to the 5. So it's going to have to come from down below and exit out the top, which connects it to the 4. Perfect. Now, our 5 here, coming out of our 5, it can't go up or we'd have a T on our line here. We can't cross in the white. It can't go to the right. Has to come down. And now this puts this end of the line through the 5 over here. That would create a small little loop, and we can't do that. So this one now has to turn down, which connects to our 4. Now this one over here, we're still coming out of the 5. We've gone 4, 5. This is coming out of the 5. We can't go into the 3 from the 5. So it has to continue down. It has no choice but to turn right because we can't turn left and connect over there. We still can't connect to the 3, so it has to keep going this way. We can't connect the 5 to the 2, so it has to keep going. Now, if it went straight again, it would exit out from the 5, but we have to go to the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 before we can go out. So it can't go that way. So it has to turn. Once we're on the ice, we can't turn, so it connects to the 6, which is what we wanted to do. Perfect. The 5 connects to the 6. And now this line through here has trapped this section from the 2 to the 3, so it has no choice but to turn right away. It can't go down anymore. All right, so let's just double check. We're good so far. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. We're doing good so far. Have we gone through all of the blue regions at least once? We have, so we've got that covered. Now we just have to get to the rest of the numbers and then back to the out. So our out here can't turn left, or it would tee off of this line, and that's no good. So it's going to have to go up and up. And again, the 6 can't connect to the out until after it gets through the other numbers, so we got to go up. That pushes this one up. This one can't turn. We still can't connect here, so they both get pushed up again. This out still can't connect to the 6. We can't do that. So the out gets pushed up again, and now that's connected all the way over here. Right up here, we've got the 7. We could turn right into the 7, or we could come up and back down. But if we go up and back down, now it's trapped. It can't go left here and create a T. And it can't go down and it can't go right. So we can't come into the 7 from the top. So it's going to have to turn in and back out this way. Now the 7 can't connect to the 10. So this has to turn. If we turn this way, it's going to be trapped. There's going to be no way to get out without going through the 10. So the 7 has to turn here, coming out of the 7 here. And now the 8 is in a similar situation. We can't go left from the 8 and we can't go down. You can go through the blue, that's okay, but then we get stuck down here on a T, so it can't come down. So the only way to come in and out of the 8 is like this. From here, we have to go, again, if we went this way up to the 9, it would be trapped. There'd be no way to get out from the 9. So it has to go straight up to the 9, turn this way, and now we could connect there and get to the out, but as you'll notice, if we click check right now, it's going to tell us the line doesn't pass all of the numbers because it has to go through the 10. So we have to drop down, over, and back up. And now I think if we do check, complete. Perfect. And if I hadn't already done check when there was an error, it would have popped up and said complete as soon as I finished the grid. And so this check button is a great way when you're still learning to figure out, am I doing everything right? So, if you, let's say we didn't go through here, right? For some reason. This is going to give us several errors. If we hit check, it says a line turns on ice. So it's telling us the line turned on the ice right here. Okay. Perfect. Let's see. If we come down here and do like this, it will tell us there's a dead end line. The line stops here. It doesn't connect. It's not one long path. If we got rid of this one, it would tell us a line goes through an arrow reverse. And what that really means is it went from the 4 to the 6. It didn't go through the 5. That's kind of a weird way to say it, but basically we skipped the 5. If we went, something like this, it would tell us the icebarn is not gone through. So icelom is sort of a variation on a puzzle called icebarn. So that's why it's calling them icebarns. So there you go. That is how to do an icelom puzzle. The one that you'll have today is very similar. It may look more complicated. It is a little more complicated probably, but just break it down, do simple things. Think about where can I go? What can I do? Sometimes you'll end up, I'm going to erase the answer. Sometimes you'll end up with a situation where you've got a line going like this. And along the side, this blue region right here, we know we have to go through this blue region. Once you have a line beside it, you now can't go horizontally through it or you'll be crossing in the white. So as soon as you put a line beside a blue region, you know the blue has to be parallel to it. Similarly, if you had a line this way through, you would know that this blue region has to have a line this direction, because you can only cross in the blue. All right, I hope you have fun with today's puzzle, and if it's a new variant for you, I hope you enjoy it, and maybe try some more of them in the future. All right, good luck. See you tomorrow.